Hey, welcome to Feisty Chess. I wanted to show you guys something. A tournament game I played recently. Not my best moment. Came at the end of a 4-round tournament that was particularly exhausting for me. A 2.5-hour drive both ways inside a single day. Anyway, I've got my excuses, but let me just show you the game. I was black, and I was playing against Max Cao, who I don't know how old he is, but he's a kid. That's always especially intimidating, right? When you go against some of these kids, and the kids are often a lot higher. Usually, they're a lot higher rated than their rating. In reality, their rating is lagging behind because they're all improving so quickly. And I've lost to Max before. I'm still higher rated than him, but I seem to have a some kind of kryptonite syndrome here. Anyway, he went with e4. Last time I played against him, I went with the Alekhine's defense, knight f6. That didn't work out very well. So I went with my usual e5, and he goes knight f3, and I go knight c6, and he plays bishop c4. So we're in the Italian, and I love to go for the two knights defense, and I'm well prepared for knight g5, and I'm expecting either that or d3, and he goes for knight c3. Now I'm very happy at this point. Because this is not the most ideal move order if white wants to kind of keep control of the game. So I played the fork trick here, the fork trick being knight takes e4, just resolving things in the center. Looks like I'm hanging a knight, but the idea is after knight takes, I'm going to push d5 and get the piece back, give the pawn back to get the piece back. So I was actually, well, Max is pretty well prepared, but a lot of people who aren't prepared will go into this line, which is one way of getting out of the fork ahead of time while displacing black's king and getting the pawn back. So after this, material is equal, and it looks like white's got an advantage because black won't be able to castle. But black can just go e5 here. And it turns out black is just fine in this position. He has the center, and he has both bishops. And he'll be able to play g5, h6 with tempo, play king out after the bishop's gone, put the rook on f8 or e8. Black has a pretty big advantage here. And look, in this position, the computer says a whole piece worth of an advantage here. Having the center and having the bishop pair. And white's knights can get kind of awkward. So wow, 1.7 in favor of black. I didn't think bishop f7 was going to be that bad for white. But Max didn't go for that. He played the best move here, just take the knight and make me play d5 to get the piece back. Computer says bishop d3 here. He went ahead and took, and I think this is also a good line, but the computer hates this because the computer loves the two bishops in an open position. So I take back, and then he goes knight c3. Does the computer have a different idea here? No, that's interesting. Okay, but black has some kind of advantage here, it seems. Computer likes queen d6. I went for queen d8, which seems strange, but I don't want to block this bishop in. So I go back to queen d8, and I've played this position before. I've had good games from here. And white simply castles. And here I couldn't resist bishop to g4, especially since he's castled now. The only way for him to break this pin would be to push both of these pawns out because, well, he can break the pin if he wants to play like queen e8, queen e1 or something here. But as soon as his queen gets off this pinning diagonal, well, I take the knight, and he has to double his pawns in front of his king. That might not be the end of the world if his king hadn't already parked himself on g1. So the king is stuck on g1, so he plays h3, which is a good move. Makes the bishop kind of decide. So I'm gonna keep that pin though, and I'm threatening here to go say knight in d4, and that would force him to play g4 to break the pin. But now white can play g4 to break the pin, but that obviously loosens his king up some too. So that's not ideal. Okay, Max stayed aggressive here, and he played rook e8, which may not be the best move, so to speak, but it's a very good move practically speaking. And I probably didn't take enough time here. And I played a move which looks very sensible, right? I know that this knight is the only piece defending this, and this knight is pinned, so I could take the knight now, and there would be no more threat on the pawn, right? But for the meantime, it's pinned, so white would have to play g4, and then I'd come back with bishop g6, and then he could take. And it may look something like a Marshall. So what I played, I just wanted to defend this pawn another time, and I played bishop to d6. I'm going to hide the computer evaluation now. Well, obviously the computer isn't very happy with this. You can still see the evaluation. I don't know how to hide that. But and it's one move. I mean, if you give black another move, if white just plays something like d3 or even d4, well, let's look at the computer. Yeah, it's there's no more advantage for white because as soon as I castle, I'm fine. But the shocker here is, well, you can pause the video if you want. White to play and win. Anyway, Max found it, so here it comes. Knight takes e4, e5. Shocked me, I didn't see it coming. Here's where the excuses come out. I had a long day. I just come off a tough loss against another youth. And I knew I wasn't playing my best, and I should have been extra vigilant. But honestly, at this point, I just wanted the day to be over, and I wanted to go home. You know, to count my blessings, I did get to go home early because the game doesn't last a whole lot longer. So obviously, the pin on the queen here wasn't all that important. It wasn't an absolute pin, right? And white can get away with this tactically thanks to the rook on e1 and my king on e8. The best play for me here is probably just to take with one of these pieces, take with the knight, say, and then the queen takes here. And now I don't know if I can save all these pieces, all this. The knight's, if I don't castle, then the knight's just going to get one with, say, d4 or even f4. But if I castle, he gets two pieces for the rook, and he's already up a pawn, right? So he's up a pawn, he's got these two pieces, but I'm a little bit better developed, and I can get my rook into the game, but he's got h3, h2 for his king. I don't know what the evaluation is here. It still favors white heavily. Queen to g3, and I can play rook e1 check, but at some point he'll just play here, and this isn't really a pin because the bishop can come. It's a game, I suppose, but not if your computer is. Obviously, this is just dead lost. So I didn't like the look of that castle, and it's just hopeless. So I thought, well, okay, he's won a pawn. Let's just trade the pieces. Frankly, it probably didn't matter much what I did here, but I thought this was just going to land me down a pawn. So I took the queen. Okay, I got his queen. Now he's going to win my queen. I could park my queen here, and then he takes it, and I take it. I take this, and then I thought I'll just come here, and then when he takes on d8, which he did, I'll be able to get some more pieces rolling. I went for rook takes, and then I realized after he takes here, and he played rook takes d1, it doesn't really matter, he could take with a knight if he wants. I'm down a piece. And the pawn, I knew I'd be down, but I didn't realize I'd be down a piece. It was just some kind of counting error. And yeah, we played on, oops, that's not the line. We played on a little bit here, played on a few more moves. I might be able to get some tricks together on the king side, since he's kind of slow over here on the queen side, but there was nothing doing, and he consolidated pretty quickly, and I resigned and went home. Anyway, so it all came down to bishop d6, and I'm totally lost here. I mean, the computer evaluation, this is not a mistake I will make again. I think, I'm afraid that this may be a mistake I have made before, and maybe not gotten punished for it. The right move here is bishop e7, and it's very much like a Marshall Ruy Lopez, where I've got the bishop pair and I'm willing to give this pawn back. So if he goes for g4, I play bishop g6. And if he takes, well, we trade knights, and his rook ends up parked on e5 somewhat awkwardly. I simply castle, and though I'm down a pawn, the computer says I'm up a pawn. I've got things like bishop d6 followed by queen h4 coming, and this kingside is just so weak, so just full of holes that I can punch through with all sorts of ideas, opening up this rook, f5, h5. And his queenside is still mostly a slumber. So yeah, d3, here's the sample line, bishop d6, rook comes back to e1, queen h4, queen f3 is the best way to defend things, but then f5 and your queen's parked on the rook's file, bishop e3, and now black just has time for a6. Yeah, I think h5 might be good here too. Would that be good? G takes h5. And this looks really good. Anyway, I'd much rather have this position than the position I got, and I'm pretty sad that I didn't see this line. Like, didn't even consider, like, let's just play bishop e7 to make sure my e file is secure. That's more important than this pawn right now. I didn't see the possibility of knight takes e5 here. So anyway, kudos to Max. Congratulations on finding this tactic, this fantastic way to win the game. I'll have to be more vigilant in the future. And maybe I can break 1900. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope this was a lesson learned for you. It definitely was for me. So stay feisty.